Good afternoon, Don Maxwell from Live IT Academy, and I'm here with you guys to talk about Excel, and specifically, we're going to be talking today about moving and resizing a chart and some chart objects. All right, so currently I'm in the regional sales for first quarter worksheet, and I have a chart here, and I need to move that chart. I need to put it directly under the worksheet data, let's say starting in A11, right? So I need to place my cursor on the chart, anywhere on the chart. I can even point to the edge of the chart, right? And I'm going to select. When I select, there's a move tool. You can see what the move tool looks like. That's the move tool right there. I'm moving it around, right? So now, based on that move tool, I can then drag the chart, right? Based on that move tool, I can drag the chart. See, turns into a move tool. I could drag the chart and place it right where I want it, right? Which is starting in the upper corner of cell A11, see? Right there. And now I can release it, right? Now, that's one way of moving it. I can take it and move it around as many places as I want to. I'm simply holding on to the select button of my mouse. So once I place it where I want it to be, I can then release the mouse button. That's the select button of the mouse, right? The left mouse button. Okay, now what if I want to resize? Let's say I want to resize it down to, let's say, H29. I can place my cursor right on the chart, select it. You'll see that there are some bubbles. That's called the sizing handles. So the sizing handles, you have top, bottom, left and right, and then you have the diagonal. Now, I prefer to use the diagonal because if you use the top or bottom, you can stretch the chart either the height or the width, right? And therefore creating it out of proportion. So I want to keep the same size ratio. So I'm going to place my cursor on the lower sizing handles in the corner, and I could use any one of these for any direction, right? But I'm going to put it on this one, and I'm going to drag it to H29, right? And that's the lower part of H29, and I'll make sure it fits right there. I see my plus sign. Now I can release, right? So that extended my chart to that length. Okay, so again, be careful. There are two types of tool. One is the move tool, right? This is select, and that's my move tool right there, right? See that move tool? And the other one is a sizing handle, right? So which I use to stretch, increase or decrease the chart. Now I can do that for different areas, like the plot area. I can increase or decrease the plot area the same way, right? And I can move the objects, like for example, the title of the horizontal axis. Now notice the move tool, I can move that around. So looking for the move tool first, I select the object, wait for the move tool to appear, right? And then I can drag, right? I hold the select button down, the left mouse button, and drag, right? Therefore creating, right? So maybe if I want to put the sales amount on the outside of the plot area, I can do that. See that? And so on, right? So this one makes sense on the inside because it's three-dimensional going up, right? All right, so what if I want to move my legend? I can do the same. Now let's see where the legend is. The legend is right where I really want it to be, right? But again, notice the bubbles around, right? See, there's a big difference, right? That again, allow me to expand, get it bigger, or allow me to move, the move tool, allow me to move the legend around, right? Right? Frankly, I like it in this area, so I'm just gonna move it that much. Okay? All right, so that's moving an object, right? And remember, you can do that for all the objects on the chart, right? So for example, notice that this is the region area that has the names of it. So if I wanted to move that, I could make sure that I can grab, right, and expand it a little bit. See that? All right. So there are some objects that are not movable. Like these objects are really not movable, right? They're just in place. You can't move these objects. But there are other objects that can be moved, right? Like when you see the blue dots, that means I can't really move those objects, right? Right? This one I can move, right? I can move that one, I can move that one, or that one, right? Or I can move the header, or even try to make it larger. Right? So all you have to do is click on the object and wait for that tool to appear, and then select and drag, right? And if you're familiar with the plot area and the chart area, you can decide where you want to place things, right? Okay. All right. So the other thing is, what if I want to put my chart on sheet 1? I want to not put it under my data, but I want to move it to sheet 1. What can I do? Well, sheet 1 is already there, so I'm going to click on the data. I'm going to click on the chart. And again, when I do, the chart tools appear, and then I go into design, location, move chart. See that? Now I can click on that move chart, and I will get the dialog box for the move chart. Now I have two options, so be careful. There are two options here. If I move to a new sheet, I would not be able to control and increase and decrease the size of my chart, right? Because it will be one sheet. But if I place it on my worksheet, I will be able to drag and increase or decrease the size just like I'm doing here. So I go to sheet 1, and I'm going to say OK, and notice it's a little bit down, so I'm going to drag it and place it up closer to the A1 cell there, A4. So let's go up a little bit and place it in the A1 cell, right? So it's right at the top. Okay, so just by moving it around. So now what I did, if you go back to the regional sales, you'll see my data here. And then I go back to sheet 1, and you see that I move it. So I can rename the sheet, right click or double click and rename the sheet chart. And again, I have the option of making the tabs different colors. So if I make that tab color, I'm going to make this one a different color, as you can see the colors here. So now I have two sheets, regional sales and chart sales. So that's simply taking it and moving it, either moving it around on the sheet, right, by increase or decrease the size, or use the move tool to move the actual chart and move the different chart areas, as well as move the objects, these objects on the chart, right, like the titles in the legend, right? These are the objects on the chart that you can move around. Okay, all right, so I can do that, and I can simply move it to a different location, a different worksheet as well. All right, great job. Learn to use the mouse to grab and move, or to select the sizing handles and increase or decrease the size of the chart and its objects. Good job, guys, and continue to practice, and I will see you in the next lesson.